everyone, I got given by a neighbour this Black & Decker, what is it, GX 200 13-inch hedge cutter. It's not got the handle, but I think I've got one at my mum's from a cutter that doesn't really cut that well, so I'll get that later. When I got it, it seemed to work fine, and then I noticed this problem. It's hard to do with one hand, but if I press that, the motor's spinning, blade's not doing anything. And if I shake it a bit, it then works, and then it stops. So what I'm going to do is take it apart and see what's going on. Got a feeling it'll be something to do underneath here. I did have a go at cutting with it last night. It did actually cut okay, until now it was that annoying problem. So I'm going to undo that, see what I can find. I think I'm going to need to take that guard off there, so I'll get my screwdrivers. Right, I've now got that opened. Obviously the standard bit of, I'll get it off. No bits of plant debris in there. I'm not sure why that's not linking properly. It could be that it just needs re-greasing inside and it's seized up. I'll see if I can get the blade off and then have a look more closely. Right, well, for a start, all that grease isn't in the best condition, so I think what I'll do is get an old screwdriver, some blue roll, I'm getting on bloody foam, and clean all that out, and then I'll re-grease that. Some of the teeth on the gearing on the cogs there look like they're a bit warm, so I'll have a look at them. Right, I'll get this cleaned and I'll get back. Right, I don't particularly want to do this, but there's two screws there. Tried to undo, hoping that would come out and I could wash it somehow, I don't know. But I think I'm going to have to just take the full housing off. I want that absolutely spotless so I can literally re-grease it from the start. Right, well, in the inside it's got the obvious bits of debris in here. I think them screws there just disconnect it from the fan bit there, so I'll take them off. Right, I've got that clean now. It's fairly simple how it works. That bit has that shaft there with the teeth, but I found one fundamental problem, that when that shaft goes up it's going to grip them teeth and work. But if you look at those teeth, put some light on it, they look okay. And then I found these really warm ones. Now I don't know if I'm going to be able to fix them at all, so I might try and get a really sharp file, see if I can sort of file them down, but they're going to have to be exact to like the millimetre, so I don't know how easy that's going to be. Or what I might be able to do is, if I can get that off somehow, take one off another machine. But I'll have a look later. Right, a few hours later and I'm back home and I've got 3 contenders for parts. I found this one, well, used to be my late Gramps'. I don't really want to take that apart for sentimental reasons because he once owned it. But it doesn't cut very well, so I might be able to perhaps swap the blade off that and put it on that one. I've got this one which my brother got given. Yeah, is that from 84? That my brother got given when he used to do landscape gardening. The customer gave it to him. It doesn't cut very well, so I might see if I can get the gearage off that. And this battery one also belonged to my late Gramps, but the batteries had it, so one of them two unfortunately is going to end up scrapped. I think I'll start with this one to see if the gearage is the same. Right, this one's kind of gearbox is inside the machine, unlike that one where I could just undo it from the thing without dismantling the rest, even though I have. So I'm going to undo these screws and have a look, see what size the cogs are. Right, that one's no good. It's a completely different system to how the other one is. So I'll put that one back together. Right, I don't think this one's going to be any good, but I'll strip it down. I don't think I'll keep it anyway because the battery's knackered, even though it looks like it's never been used. But then again, might be able to do something with the battery, but anyway, I'll strip it down, see what the mechanism's like. Right, well that one's completely different to what I'm looking for, so that's not a contender either, so I'll put that back together. It's a shame because I bet the blade's pretty spot on, but maybe do some with the batteries at some point. Alright, get it back together. Right, last but not least, the one I didn't want to touch, but it's more or less identical, and in fact that one's something like GT200. That says GT201. So somehow I'm going to take that turquoise one, that one and this one, and hopefully make a half decent machine out of that one. Okay, shall I get on? Right, yeah, another blow. That one's completely different to how that one works, a lot more complicated looking. Well, it's just that one is relatively simple, so yeah, no, it's a tip. Get this back together and I'll have to see what I can do with them teeth. Right, it's the only thing I can think of. Not got a weld like I've seen people do on YouTube, kind of weld it and then recut it. And even if I did have, I wouldn't be able to do it. So with that cutting disc there, I'm just gonna see if I can cut them a bit deeper. I don't know what it'll run like. It probably won't run true, or it'll be a bit noisy, but worth a shot. See if it works. Right, with a taste of metal in my mouth, I've cut them. See, they're the ones that are okay. They're the ones that are recut, and if you look close, some are quite blunt, like they're quite sharp to touch. They're blunt. Filed them with the grinder the best I can, but I'll have to just put it in the machine and just see if it'll turn it. But that's working okay, so there's nothing wrong with that mechanism. Right, see if I can get it back in. Right, I've just tried it off camera. It was worth a try, but hang on. Yeah. It worked for a second. But I don't think it'll work forever. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have another look at that Black & Decker 201, wasn't it? GT 201. Just see if I've missed anything. Right, that is the broken one that's not catching properly with the dodgy teeth put in the GT 201. And that is my late Gramps' one. For some reason it's not got that bit there. Yeah, it still works. Not sure if they're riveted on or not. I'll see if I can knock them out and maybe change the blade and perhaps use that nice clean gearbox in that one. You know, refuel, you know, re-grease it. Perhaps put that new lead on. The switch isn't very good on that one, so make a half decent machine out of this. I'm going to try and get those rivets out. I'll get back. Right, I've really been struggling to get the old one off, so I've bought these sort of hardened drill bits. So I'm going to have a go at that now. Hopefully it'll go through it easy. So what I need, annoyingly, is that sharp blade off. And then with the other cutter, blunt blades at the bottom, and I can then replace the sharper blade at the top. Right, I'll have a go with this bit, see how I get on. Right, those drills were great, but then when they'd been used for a little bit, it seemed to stop cutting, not work quite as well at first. They were fantastic. In the end, I ground it off. So that is the blade off the GT200, and that is the blade off my late Gramps' one. Just looks identical. So I need to undo them and fit the blade. Right, so I'm going to get those undone and see where I'm up to. Right, I've just given it a quick wipe. It's the blade off the GT201, which once belonged to my late Gramps, like I said before. Don't lose these things. They go in between. Just can't see my finger. They go in between the little holes there, so it can obviously move up and down. Right, I'm going to put some of that multi-purpose grease on it, and I'll get it back on. Right, I've greased the blade, sharp on top. The screw head needs to go on the bottom. I'll show you the bottom side once it's on. I now need to get the top piece. I always have the right hand, and always have the phone in my right hand, not my left. Right, put that on there. And what I'm going to do is just do that bolt very loosely and do the same with all the others. Right, I've now got the blade on. You need to make sure, which I didn't do at first, that them screws are out open, so you kind of put it on but have the bolts loose. I put it in the vise the best I can, and it seems to be how it'd work. Moving up and down to cut, obviously it'd be a lot quicker. Found that. I just hope that's not for something, but all them little, don't know what they're called, but all those are in it. Right, I'll get it on the machine, see how it performs. Right, that's the gearbox out of the GT201, full of shite basically. He's been dead since 2001 November, and I reckon he had it a good 10 plus years prior to that, so yeah. Use the other one, we'll put some fresh grease in it. Right, on the GT200 the switch is a lot better. It's got the safety thing on, and it's got, well, it's not new, it's over 30 years old, but the newer style plug. Whereas that one, that safety switch thing's come off at some point, and it's got the older style plug on. So I'm going to swap that with that. I'm sure I'll get a comment to say it's not the right thing, but I'm going to use that. So I'm going to fill that box up with some grease, and then I'll fit the rest. Right, I just tried it off camera, and it was doing that horrible thing where the gears weren't engaging. I've realised, I think it's with that plate because it's putting a bit of pressure on it. All the gearbox is re-greased. I don't think I can do it off camera though. It is actually working. So what I'm going to do now is put all the housing back on, and I'll try it for real, see what it cuts like. Right, that's all back together now. Give it a try, see what it cuts like. I don't know why, for some reason my family seem to associate this machine with my gramps. I think there's a photograph of him holding it wearing a wig that somebody put on him. I also remember when my great nan was, well, not great nan, my nana was alive, asking if I could have it or even buy it off, and said no. Remember your granddad buy it. Anyway, it's back together, so I'm going to take it outside and just see if it cuts okay. Fingers crossed. I wanted to film myself doing it, but I've got no way of doing it by myself. But it's moving up and down. I'll see if I can put a privet in it. Hang on. Get my fingers in there before I turn it on. Can I do it? Before I say bye completely. It's getting air tidied. Right, well, it's not exactly immaculate, but sometime later it's a little bit more organised. Put everything away. Okay, thanks for watching, everyone. Bye.